Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Today we are reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 10, Chapter 20, chapter entitled The Rainy Season and Autumn in Vrindavana. Text 8. Nishamukeshu Kadyotaham Tamasam Bhanti Na Grahaham Yatham Papenam Pashandaha Nam Hi Vedaham Kalau Yuge Nishamukeshu Kadyotas Nishamukeshu Kadyotas Tamasa Bhanti Nagraha Tamasa Bhanti Nagraha Yatha Papena Pashandam Yatha Papena Pashandam Nahi Vedah Kalau Yuge Nahi Vedah Kalau Yuge Nishamukeshu Kadyotas Tamasa Bhanti Nagraha Yatha Papena Pashandam Nahi Vedah Kalau Yuge Kalau Yuge Matajis Nishamukeshu Kadyotas Tamasa Bhanti Nagraha Nishamukeshu, during the moments of evening twilight. Kadyotaha, the glowworms. Tamasa, because of the darkness. Bhanti, shine. Na, not. Graha, the planets. Yata, as. Papena, because of sinful activities. Pashandaha, atheistic doctrines. Nam, and not. He, certainly. Vedaham, the Vedas. Kalau Yuge, in the age of Kali. Translation and purport by the disciples of His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada, founder of International Society for Krishna Consciousness. Translation: in the evening twilight, during the rainy season, the darkness allowed the glowworms but not the stars to shine forth. Just as in the age of Kali, the predominance of sinful activities allows atheistic doctrines to overshadow the true knowledge of the Vedas. Purport: Srila Prabhupada comments as follows. During the rainy season, in the evening, there are many glowworms visible about the tops of trees, hither and thither, and they glitter just like lights. But the luminaries of the sky, the stars and the moon, are not visible. Similarly, in the age of Kali, persons who are atheists or miscreants become very prominently visible. Whereas persons who are actually following the Vedic principles for spiritual emancipation are practically obscured. This age, Kali Yuga, is compared to the cloudy season of the living entities. In this age, real knowledge is covered by the influence of the material advancement of civilization. The cheap mental speculators, atheists and manufacturers of so-called religious principles become prominent like the glowworms, whereas persons strictly following the Vedic principles or scriptural injunctions become covered by the clouds of this age. People should learn to take advantage of the actual luminaries of the sky, the sun, moon and the stars, instead of the glowworms' light. Actually, the glowworms cannot give any light in the darkness of the night, as clouds sometimes clear even in the rainy season, and sometimes the moon, stars and sun becomes visible. So even in the Kali Yuga, there are sometimes advantages. The Vedic movement of Lord Chaitanya, the distribution of the chanting of the Hare Krishna mantra, is understood in this way. People seriously eager to find real light should take advantage of this movement instead of looking toward the light of mental speculators and atheists. Namo Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vikasa Swami Niti Namine. Namo Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine. Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharane Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschati Deshatarane. Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Nishamukeshu kadhyotas tamasa bhanti nagrahaha yata papena pashanda nahi vedah kalau yuge. Once again translation. In the evening twilight during the rainy season, the darkness allowed the glowworms but not the stars to shine forth. Just as in the age of Kali, the predominance of sinful activities allows atheistic doctrines to overshadow the true knowledge of the Vedas. Hare Krishna. So here we are continuing the description of the rainy season in Vrindavan. So Shukadeva Goswami very nicely when he is narrating, he was narrating the pastimes of Krishna, and suddenly this description comes. So he is actually doing two things at once. On the one hand, he is actually enhancing the beauty of Krishna's pastime by narrating this chapter, and also on the other hand, very metaphorically, he is giving amazing instructions. Even in our daily life also, several times we use metaphorical statements like, yesterday was a roller coaster. Means yesterday was very difficult day. Means we use that metaphorical term generally to give some more understanding of something. Maybe sometimes for humor also we use metaphors. But in scriptures, when metaphor is given, then we can see complicated topics or to explain in very simple way, these metaphors are used. Even in many places throughout Bhagavatam also we can see. So here also Shukadeva Goswami, he is doing that. Srila Prabhupada, if you remember in the first canto itself, Srila Prabhupada, when Narada and Vyasadeva, they met each other, Vyasadeva was very in kind of distressed, he was sad. Then Narada was explaining to him that so many books you have given, but you didn't directly speak about absolute truth. So then he was encouraging him to give this Srimad Bhagavatam. There he is explaining there are so many books are there which may be very nicely put into content, very metaphorically, very poetically, very systematically they may be given, but if the topics are not related to absolute truth, if the topics are not directing us towards Krishna, then that is place for crows. Tadvayasam tirtha ushanti manasa nayatra hamsa niramantu sikshayaha. So that is not place for swans. But on the other hand, even if the spiritual literatures, if they are composed unsystematically or even with some mistakes, still they are to be accepted. They are beneficial. But here we can see very systematically Shukadeva Goswami is explaining all these complicated topics. When I was first time reading Srimad Bhagavatam, I was thinking, when I was reading, I think I was 11th standard that time. So when I was reading, then I was going through this 10th canto, 19 chapters, and when this chapter came, I was thinking, why suddenly Shukadeva Goswami is narrating some seasonal changes to Parikshit Maharaj. We know Parikshit Maharaj already had just 7 days. When Shukadeva Goswami started the 10th canto, nearly it was already 4 days over. Bhagavatam, we know it is of 18,000 chapters, of which some chapters are even after the even after the passing away of Parikshit Maharaj. So if you take something around 17,000 verses, if Bhagavatam contains of 17,000 verses where Shukadeva Goswami and Parikshit Maharaj are speaking, that means daily something like 2,500 verses he was speaking. So this 10th canto, when Shukadeva Goswami was narrating, it was already 5 days over. And after even starting the 10th canto, still suddenly I was thinking, what is the need for Shukadeva Goswami to divert to the topic? I was thinking in that way. Many of us, we even ask that, why Shukadeva Goswami didn't directly start the 10th canto on the first day itself? Parikshit Maharaj had only 7 days, so maybe Shukadeva Goswami could have directly given the topics of Krishna's pastimes. But Prabhupada very nicely in the first canto itself, he explains that Parikshit Maharaj, Shukadeva Goswami also didn't start with the pastimes of Krishna, and at the same time Parikshit Maharaj also was not asking to Shukadeva Goswami, please start me from Krishna's pastime, don't go around bushes. He didn't say anything about like that. Prabhupada very nicely in the 16th chapter of first canto, he says, because all of us, we are entrapped, we got stuck in the external potency of the Supreme Lord. So first of all, we should learn how the external potency of the Supreme Lord is working. So for that only all the beginning of the 9 cantos are given, to understand how the external potency of the Supreme Lord is working under his supervision. Then only we can come to the 10th canto, where how the internal potency of the Lord, about the internal potency of the Lord is given. So Prabhupada explains there, but Prabhupada mentions that, but the so-called Bhagavatam speakers and then so-called religious people, what they do, they jump to the 10th canto. But it is not like that. We have to go through. Then we will understand the absolute truth properly. Otherwise, we will end up in saying Krishna as some mythological person or historical person or a very great king, There was one short video. I don't know whether that is from some movie clip or somewhere. One short video. So there, very nicely they are describing about Krishna, and at the end, the person is narrating. But that Krishna is, his imaginary person. Just to give us some positive thoughts, how to lead our life, just to give some positive energy, this person was there. Or even maximum you can consider him to be some historical person. They don't come to the conclusion that he is absolute person. He is the absolute truth, because they don't go through this the proper systematic way of studying about Bhagavan. So therefore we understand. I was also okay with why these 9 cantos are given, and then the 10th canto starts with the description of Krishna. But when I came to this 20th chapter, I was again confused. Why Shukadeva Goswami is kind of seems like diverting the topic. Then I was asking a devotee the same question. Prabhu, I don't understand why suddenly this is going in this direction. Then that time actually he showed me the book Light of Bhagavata. That how actually Shukadeva Goswami is systematically only narrating, and how amazingly in a metaphorical way he is giving this instructive instructions. Even Bhagavad Gita also, we know whatever Krishna spoke to Arjuna, Krishna used Arjuna as just an instrument to teach us. Similarly, Bhagavatam also we know, Parikshit Maharaj, even before hearing Bhagavatam, he was already a devotee of Krishna. Right from the womb itself. So there was no need for him actually to listen Bhagavatam only at the end of his life. He knew all the pastimes. Still he was again asking, just for benefiting us. So similarly, Shukadeva Goswami also, knowing that, he takes the opportunity of the rainy season in Vrindavan, and he very nicely, metaphorically compares it, explains it with this Kali Yuga. Here, in this purport, the disciples of Prabhupada, they have taken purports from Krishna book, and also some things are in similar to Light of Bhagavata also. So there we can see, we know how important is rainy season. Many places we see. In this material world, in this present situation, modern society, people, they don't know about the importance of rainy season. Whenever rain comes, they curse. But rain is the most important thing for the survival in this material world, for every living entity. But at the same time, we can see the same rainy season is compared to the age of Kali also. Prabhupada, in the Light of Bhagavata, he mentions why the age of rainy season is compared to the age of Kali. Because in rainy seasons we face so many difficulties. So many uncomfortabilities are there during rainy season. Similarly, we see in the age of Kali is full of difficulties. It is mentioned that this is the age of quarrel. For every small thing, there is quarrel and hypocrisy. And we see that when rainy season comes, clouds cover the entire light. So it is always dark. Night is much more darker, but even in the daytime, we can see now also, last few weeks, it is so cloudy. It is dark, kind of dark. So, but especially when the luminaries like sun, stars, moon, if they are covered, it's completely dark. Same thing is with this age of Kali. That also we see in the Bhagavatam beginning itself. Krishnesva dhamo pagate dharma jnana dibisaha kalaun nashta drisham esha puranarko dhunoditaha. So when Krishna, he departed from this material world, when he concluded all his pastimes, when he went back, then what happened? Krishnesva dhamo pagate dharma jnana dibisaha. The dharma, jnana, knowledge, and with that everything also went with him. So this place become completely dark. So if it is dark, then people will be blinded. So people are living in this age blind, as blind. So they cannot see the reality. They are not seeing anything reality. So therefore here we see in the purport, This age, Kali Yuga, is compared to the cloudy season of the living entities. In this age, real knowledge is covered by the influence of material advancement of civilization. So, when the real luminaries like sun, star or moon, when that is covered, if you put some small torchlight, that itself will give you some light, so that looks like a big luminary. Similarly, here in the age of Kali, when the real knowledge, the knowledge of Bhagavan, the knowledge of the spirit soul, all these things gets covered by the small luminaries like material advancement, technologies, and atheistic philosophy. These all things become more prominent. So now everybody is running behind this material advancement, or we can see here it is as it is explained here. The cheap mental speculators, atheists, and manufacturers of so-called religious principles, they all become prominent. Their philosophies, their advice becomes so much prominent. Then it will be like blind following the blind. Because the leaders, they themselves in this Kali Yuga, they don't get proper knowledge. They don't have the proper knowledge. So, whatever their speculative knowledge they present to the public, they think this to be good instructions, and then unfortunately they are following behind the glowworms. Generally here, glowworms means sometimes we see nighttime some small insects glowing. But in New Zealand, such countries, we can see very dangerous glowworms are there. Like, you can see there, it is explained, particular forest is there, where the forest is full of glowworms. Glowworms means, it produces light from its own body. It's very minute light. By seeing that light, so many other insects, they get attracted and go and get trapped in that net of that glowworm insect. Whichever insect gets trapped in that net, immediately this glowworm they eat and then they enjoy. So same thing happens here. Glowworms like atheists, glowworms like the so-called gurus, they are cheating the innocent or blind people of the Kali Yuga by presenting their atheistic messages. Now recently we were discussing about, in this youth program, we were discussing about the topic search for happiness. So we were discussing about throughout our entire life, how we are searching for happiness, what is going on, what Krishna is saying about happiness, what is the real happiness, what is life is actually about, how we can get the real happiness. We were discussing like that. At that time, one boy was asking, Prabhu, you are saying so many things, okay, but we see so many other people, spiritual people only, they are also giving advices, but that is slightly different from your advice. You are saying we have to follow rules and regulations, regulative principles, we have to be clean, we have to be strict. But I heard from another group, they are saying life is like a ball. You don't keep it with yourself. You just play. You just enjoy the life. So how nice it seems. Why you are saying, we have to follow this, we have to follow that, so many rules and regulations. You say, we ask them, can you stay for this Saturday night? We have base program kind of, you can stay overnight, so that for next day morning 4:30 Mangalarti you can attend. And then immediately they ask, why we have to wake up at midnight? For them 4:30 in the morning is midnight. Because they go to sleep at 12 o'clock. Even here when they were staying Saturday night, I asked them, so what time you went to sleep? 12:30, bro. But fortunately, anyway, they woke up at 3 o'clock and then they came and attended Mangalarti. That is different story. But, this kind of advices that you can enjoy this material world. We will make the world better. We are on progress, on construction, under construction. Guru Maharaj in that God Science, this documentary, very nicely in one of the episode, Maharaj explained that in this material world, happiness is always under construction. We several times have a board that temple is under construction, this building is under construction, means at least soon, one point of time, this temple will be opened as soon as possible. So other buildings also, when they put under construction, means one day it will happen. Similarly, scientists, with this glowworm kind of instructions, they are presenting us the messages. Happiness is under construction. You will attain it soon, very soon, in few years. In 2011 they promised something, and then they said in 2 years we will achieve that. So after 2 years, when that question was asked again, just we are on progress. Then in that video they show even in 2022 still question mark is still there. And even if you ask 2032, that time also same question mark will exist. Because we cannot change the words of Krishna. Though Krishna's words may be piercing our heart, may look like difficult to digest when Krishna says this world is Dukkalayam, but that is the actual luminary, that is the actual light Krishna is showering towards us. He is explaining clearly our situation. You are suffering in this material world. You come out of this situation, then you can be happy. This is the actual light. But that actual light is covered because of the tendency of this age of Kali. It is hidden. There are only very few people here, that is also very nicely given. Whereas persons who are actually following the Vedic principles for spiritual emancipation are practically obscured. Nobody takes them seriously. And because the percentage of the people following this path is also very less. We can see in many of the conversation, Prabhupada ends up in saying this. Whenever he has conversation with some big social workers or some industrialists, when Prabhupada informs them that, see, your entire nation is collapsing because your leaders, they don't know how to guide the society. Scientists, they don't know how to guide the society. Therefore, you can see the entire nation is going towards hellish kind of lifestyle. Divorce is increasing. Prabhupada to one social worker, social reformer, he is narrating, see your country. Even when small fight between husband and wife happens, what is the solution? Immediately divorce. And unfortunately, Jawaharlal Nehru, he introduced that system in India also. Prabhupada mentions like that. So India will also soon take that method, and whenever some small disinterest, some small fight happens between husband and wife, immediately they will think, okay, divorce is the solution. Then what will happen to the kids? What will happen to the society if everybody start divorcing and then getting remarried? What kind of culture is this? This is not human society. Human society means one should follow the basic rules and regulations, regulative principles of no meat eating, no gambling, no intoxication, no illicit sex. When Prabhupada mentioned this, then immediately the social reformer is asking, then who will follow this? Only less percentage of people will be following your instruction. Prabhupada said, that's good. No problem. Let it be less percentage. At least they will be ideal person in the society. Then people will know, if I go here, there will be ideal people. If I follow them, I can be happy. I won't be cheated. Then Prabhupada mentions this also from Chanakya, several places. How that goes? Nachatara sahasrashaha. Ekas chandra tamohanti nachatara sahasrashaha. If there is only one moon, that is enough. That will dissipate all the darkness. What is the use of so many stars? And devotees who were narrating the same incident in memories, that devotee, he was saying, when Prabhupada was mentioning this, he very, I forgot the word. It's not dramatically, but he very gracefully, some word he puts. Prabhupada very nicely, he showed that when there is one moon, then what is the use of the small stars? Prabhupada chased them away, like no need of being these small luminaries like stars. Prabhupada was teaching us to become moons, not like stars. Then what to speak of these glowworms? Glowworms, they have no power even in night time. Here in the purport we see, even in the night time, the glowworms, they have no power. Because sometimes, here it is explained. Actually, the glowworms cannot give any light even in the darkness of night. Because as clouds sometimes clear even in the rainy season, and sometimes the moon, stars and sun becomes visible. So night time also glowworms has no power. And what to speak of daytime? And what to speak when the actual luminary is visible? So therefore, Prabhupada is always strong against these people that no need to compromise in giving the real knowledge. Because in this age of Kali, already everything is compromised. Everybody wants a shortcut, and everybody actually, they are hankering for some shortcuts. But people, they are already trying so many shortcuts in their life, and every time they are getting beaten by Maya. They are suffering again and again and again. So at least at one point of time, as Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, Chaturvida bhajante mam jana sukritono arjuna artho jignasur artharthi jnani cha bharadarshava. So at least one point of time, they will, at least little bit, they will understand their distressed condition in this material life, and they may eager to turn up to the real thing. Throughout their life, they were looking for shortcuts. They were going behind all these bogus kinds of people. But sometime, when they want to really turn towards the actual real light, then there should be someone to give that. So Prabhupada made that process. We saw that Krishna Swadamopagate verse. So when Krishna went back, everything went. So this age, completely, this material world became dark. So therefore, Narada Muni asked Vyasadeva, you present this Srimad Bhagavatam. This will be like the sun. It will light up everything. And what Prabhupada did, he gave more glow to that sun. We know sun is how bright sun is. But Prabhupada added much more light to the sun by giving word by word translation and each and every verse translation, and by giving purports to the verses. Prabhupada added much more light because people are completely blind here. And everybody wants to comment on anything. Everybody, whoever likes, they can speak anything. Film stars, they comment about spiritual life. Cricket stars, they comment about spiritual life. And people, they think, this film star told this about religion, so I will follow that only. In my college days, always, everywhere, even now also, there used to be 2-3 gangs. I follow this hero, I follow that hero. And very famous actor in Tamil Nadu, Kamal Haasan, from very long time. He says, that I don't say God is not there, but I say that if God is there, that would be good. In Tamil, he says, நான் கடவுள் இல்லைன்னா சொல்ல மாட்டேன், கடவுள் இருந்தா நல்லா இருக்கும்னு சொல்றேன். If God exists, that would be good. I am not saying God is not there. So all his fans, those who are in the classroom or wherever, they all are against God. Just why? Why you are against God? Because I follow the light of my glowworm, who is Kamal Haasan. Similarly, those who are behind science, scientists, they say, I follow this scientist because I follow this principle because that glowworm scientist said that. I follow this religious movement. Why? Because such and such so-called Swamiji, who is again a glowworm, he said this and that. So many times in memories also we can see that once on the disappearance day of Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, one afternoon, after feast, everything was over, one old lady, she comes to Prabhupada, she meets, and then she is very, she was follower of one of the famous so-called Mayavadi Guru. So conversation was going on, and then they were discussing about Bhagavad Gita. Then she said, Prabhupada, my guru says that Krishna means black. In Sanskrit also Krishna means black, one of the meaning. So Krishna is black, black means dark, dark means you cannot see anything, that means unknown. So therefore Krishna is unknown. My guru says Krishna is unknown. Then Srila Prabhupada, immediately he reacted. Immediately he reacted to that nonsense comment. He said, how, if Krishna is unknown, then why your guru is commenting on Krishna? He is saying Krishna is unknown, then why he is commenting on Krishna? Then Prabhupada goes on speaking, yes, Krishna is unknown to your guru because he is not a devotee. Who is a devotee, for him Krishna will reveal himself. So there are so many people, they speak in that light of Bhagavata. Prabhupada is more elaborately is explaining about this rainy season and this age of Kali. This comparison, Prabhupada is more elaborately explaining how blind people are. We can see that they are still confused even about the existence of God. Even if you are fighting for who is God, that is okay, chalo, okay. Because in Hindus, in Vedas, so many devatas are explained, so maybe you are confused about who is God. But here they are questioning, here they are fighting for, they are challenging, is God is present? Even this basic thing, that always there is some supreme power above us, this basic thing they are not able to understand. Such is the darkness of Kali. But still, as it is explained in this verse, even in this rainy season, in such darkness, sometimes this moon, sun, they are visible. And here at the end of the purport, it is explained, the Vedic movement of Lord Chaitanya, the distribution of the chanting of Hare Krishna Mahamantra is to be understood in that way. In this dark age of Kali, we are facing the golden age by the mercy of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. When I was reading Bhagavatam first time, as I was mentioning this 10th canto, as I was surprised. Similarly, in the 11th canto, there was one statement, and exactly that is also fitting to this. So in that 11th canto, where comes, that is also said by Narada, correct? Narada is saying that Satya Yuga people, those who take birth in Satya Yuga, they are eager to take birth in Kali Yuga. The people of the age Satya, Treta, Dwapara, they also desire to take birth in the age of Kali. And it is explained there in the same translation. It goes like, especially, why it is mentioned, because in the age of Kali, people, they, how it goes, people, they will be more devoted to Lord. And it is explained, especially in South India. And many rivers like Tamirabharani, Kaveri, that is also, everything was mentioned in that verse. And we see even several times we say that Devatas, they are also desiring to take birth in Bharata Varsha, they desire to take birth. Because in this age of Kali, though it is full of fault, though it is full of darkness, full of problems, but still this is very great age for performing devotional activity. All other Vedic process is very difficult to follow in this age of Kali. Everything is gone because by the influence of age of Kali, except the chanting of Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Kalau nasteva 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 gatiranyata. And in that purport is again not directly given by Prabhupada in the 11th canto. It is given by the disciples of Prabhupada, but they have taken quotes from different places, whatever Prabhupada said, and then they narrates there in that 11th canto. So this age of Kali is, though it is difficult age, it's compared to here like rainy season, darkness, full of darkness, but still we are also so fortunate to take part in this period where the actual light is glowing. Prabhupada said minimum for 10,000 years his book will be there. Books are the basis for this movement. And more to that, luminaries of Prabhupada books, his serious, sincere disciples, sannyasis, they are also adding more light, more understanding, more knowledge they are revealing. Just like the modern mission of Srila Prabhupada book given by our Guru Maharaj, His Holiness Bhakti Vikas Swami. When the book came, immediately, we can see how much eagerness all devotees are showing. Because that gives us more light, more actual knowledge. All other these instructions or so-called instructions given by the so-called luminaries, glowworms, they go on making us much more blind. But these instructions, with that Om Ajnana Timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshur Unmilitam Mena, Chakshu, these instructions, these actual luminaries, they do the eye surgery for us. so that we can see the world in the proper way. But so Sukadeva Goswami, metaphorically, as I was in the beginning of the lecture I was mentioning, very metaphorical way, he is narrating this rainy season and comparing it with the difficulty of this age of Kali. But in Vrindavana, though it is rainy season or autumn season or it is summer, everything is blissful only, everything is happy only for Krishna. We will see that when the chapter goes, when we read furthermore, we will see this description of rainy season in Vrindavana is given to enhance the pastime of Supreme Lord, enhance the beauty of Krishna's pastimes. But at the same time, very nicely he is narrating so that we can easily understand, yes, we are stuck in the darkness, we are being cheated again and again by these glowworms. This world is full of cheaters and cheated. But wherever this actual light is present, by that surely one can be taken back from this darkest place to the Supreme Lord's abode. So therefore Prabhupada has given very nicely this method, and as Prabhupada also requested in many places, we also should not compromise it. No need of being so many stars here. If we can satisfy Prabhupada in preaching the true message. So Prabhupada said, no, even if one person becomes a pure devotee, then my mission is successful. Right from the beginning of Bhagavad Gita, Prabhupada said that, and then in 1977 also we can see in conversation, Prabhupada was sticking to that. Prabhupada never compromised. He could have compromised. He could have done compromisation in many ways. International Society for God Consciousness, so out of 4 regulative principles, several times we see devotees. Why do they are practicing devotional life, spiritual life so seriously? Sometimes they fall down. Why do they fall down? Mostly not because of meat eating or gambling or intoxication. Rarely it may happen, but mostly because of illicit connection. So then maybe Prabhupada could have thought, oh, this one principle is, because of this one principle I will lose many followers. Better I can relax one. Chanting 16 rounds. So already Prabhupada, seeing the situation to make us engaged in throughout the day in much more services, devotional acts, therefore he reduced it from 64 to 16. But still devotees were thinking, oh, 16 rounds Prabhupada, 16 rounds. So then Prabhupada could have said, okay, whenever possible you can chant, some days 16 rounds, some days even 4 rounds, 2 rounds. But no, minimum 16 rounds. Daily reading Srimad Bhagavatam, daily reading Prabhupada books. How many times Prabhupada asked in the lectures when Prabhupada asks something, if the devotees, if they don't reply, the Sanskrit verse, shloka or something, if they don't reply, then Prabhupada will ask them, don't you read these books? These are not just for selling, these are not just for distributing, we are not sellers. We are preachers, means achar prachar. Unless we read these books, unless we take light, unless we understand that these are the actual luminaries, then how we will be able to present this to others. So I was thinking to share a few points from this translation and purport. Hare Krishna. Some corrections, comments, questions. Yes. Thanks. Yes. Yeah, when we read all these descriptions, then whatever we see, we will be remembering Krishna. Otherwise, whatever we see, same thing will remind us of something else. Either that should remind you about Krishna, and if not Krishna, then there is only Maya. So, either one of that. Sometimes I have mentioned this also. In one of the CTN program, one Mataji, she asked to Chittahari Prabhu that, Prabhuji, my child is always sucking the toe. I have seen Krishna's picture also like that. So is that hinting something that my child is also sucking toe? Like even seeing that activity of sucking the toe, even when she sees the pictures of Krishna, she is remembering her child. But on the other hand, we should remember of Krishna when we see anything else. If we see, like this regarding Padmanabha, I have said several times, when he was very small boy, now we have these mobile phones, everybody have either back cover or this full closing cover. So when I was having initial days my mobile phone, I had this flip cover with one big round hole in the middle, so that in the display you can see the time, date. So I was using it for many months. So daily I used to see that flip cover, nothing came to my mind. But first time I was working on this, Padmanabha was near me. When I opened the flip cover, immediately he said, Prabhu, Jagannath eyes. That flip cover had huge opening. So when you opened, it was looking like round eyes of Jagannath. So immediately for him, that remembrance came. So one time we were in the corridor, in the air card, so much light was there. So when I saw that, I was telling Chittari Prabhu, I think some celebration, some party is going on. So therefore, you see so much light is there. And that conversation happened during Kartik time. So, how Chittari immediately reacted. He said, hey Baba, they are celebrating Damodarashtakam there. So, whenever you see anything, you will relate that. Same thing with Gokul Prabhu also. Once we were growing this Paulonia tree. We were trying to make this Paulonia tree so that we will get so much of firewood. We were testing that. So, when the testing was happening, we used to keep that samples in small trays, and then every day so much it was growing. Then immediately Prabhu compared it with Matsya. That, how Matsya in small pot it was, and then immediately it was getting bigger. Similarly, by seeing even Paulonia, the tree, immediately Prabhu related to that. So like that, when you have Krishna conscious knowledge, then with everything, when you see some beautiful object, immediately you will think, if I go on contemplating on that, what will happen? Dhyayato vishayan pungsa sangasteshu bhajayate, sangat sanjayate, kama kamat krodot vijayate. So like that. So therefore, actually we are memorizing shlokas, memorizing songs. So everything to help us in remembering that how much we are struggling in this material world, and how can we change this situation into Krishna consciousness aspect. So therefore daily reading of Prabhupada books and then hearing, everything is so much important in our life. Hare Krishna. Srimad Bhagavatam ki